Trying to do a middle part for...
just a hard middle part?
A la Chick Cooper.
Yeah.
I am no Hart Denton.
He looked like Jesus in
He
this
really
episode.
did. It was something.
Hi, Betty. Have you missed me?
Okay, hello. We are back with So I'm Watching Riverdale. I am Will.
I'm Kristen.
This is a mid-season finale, and you could tell we had 10 scenes in 7 different locations in under 8 minutes in the beginning.
Before the first commercial.
Before
the title card.
Hit the ground running. This has been a wonky season, but I did enjoy this episode.
Yeah, me too.
There was everything was happening. Tony is tapped out. It appears that Vanessa, they said for her pregnancy. Yeah. So I would assume similar for Vanessa.
Well, like Tony's on bed rest, but I think Vanessa was just like giving birth.
Yeah. So we haven't had her in the last episode or two.
Yeah.
But other than that, everybody was in this episode. So the crux of the episode, the most important thing to tackle in the episode was it was parent-teacher night at the school at Riverdale.
Continue.
Do you have any thoughts on parent-teacher night?
No.
Wait, do you want to start with Veronica and Chad?
Oh God.
I can't. I'm just done. I'm done with Veronica. I'm done.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, out with the trash. I just like Veronica, mija.
And her.
You must find better men.
Yeah, her fucking husband, Representative Gates. I just like, ugh.
Oh man. Okay, no shade to the actor. I'm sure he's really nice, but you're totally right. He does look like Matt Gates. Ugh.
I don't understand what the plot is. Well, so the plot is that he's in debt and used her business and name as leverage. Collateral. So that's why he won't divorce her. And I understand. Well,
that's why he's making it so she can't divorce him, because then he can testify against her to like the SEC.
And he'll lie, blah, blah. I get it. I understand. But it was like the tango that we danced to get to that revelation was because she kept talking about how she had to do this because she owed him because she wished he died. And then he to blackmail her into not divorcing him, he had her followed and had
incriminating photos,
secret pictures of her kissing her high school boyfriend. And I'm like,
after she had already filed for divorce?
Well, I am failing to see how any of these things is evidence that the marriage needs to continue. I was like, how is this going to keep you married?
No, 100%. Also, he 100% crashed that helicopter on purpose. There's not a doubt in my mind. Not a doubt in my mind. Ugh.
I was gonna make a JFK Jr. joke.
That's me.
I had Daryl Hannah, and I just couldn't. I didn't know where to go from there. But enough time passed. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. He wined and dined her, and presumably they slept together. I'm
fine with that as like you signed the divorce papers. We're saying goodbye. I can be like, fine, whatever. Time.
We were down for a key party 2 weeks ago. Fine.
Sure. Yeah. One more for the road. Whatever. I'm fine with that. But Jen's just like, blech, and he's so slimy and he's just like her father. Ugh. No, not into it. Chad's terrible. Every fucking man on this show.
So then,
with 4 exceptions, every man that's ever been on this show is hard trash.
So then Archie was gonna get a double silver eagle medal or something.
Just the silver eagle. It's apparently not a real medal. I tried to look it up.
I thought there was, but then I kept calling it his sergeant, but he was a sergeant.
He's a sergeant. It was the general.
So the general is dirty, I guess.
Yeah. He sent them on a dirty mission, and the only reason as many people survived as they did is because of Archie, but they could have all survived if Archie hadn't taken the general's order.
Okay.
Archie was going to do it a different way and they could have saved all of them, but then he followed orders.
Well, yeah, when some woman called Archie, like, she was warning him that his car warranty was about to expire, and she was just like... She was like, we're investigating your general.
Yeah.
Can you please dial this number back for? And I was like, is that how investigations work?
No.
Okay, I didn't.
That's like a trail of like a phone call. And if you're trying to be covert about it, you're like leaving a real hard trail, calling someone on their landline.
Also, so Jackson's like still on the show. Was he just sleeping for like a week?
I don't know.
He was in that last scene at the dinner table.
Yeah, and eating Tostito scoops and salsa with Uncle Frank
for breakfast. The breakfast of criminals.
Breakfast of newly escaped convicts.
Well, Hiram was eating Doritos, so
that still does not check out to me. I don't buy it.
So, yeah, I mean, I actually wanted to give you credit, and I wanted to state this for the audience, but you're absolutely right. Archie is one of the few characters that has exhibited growth.
Thank you.
And this whole episode, I mean, but also he is still so identifiably Archie.
He is Archie, but he has grown in a way that, like, Veronica is still Veronica in all of the worst ways. There's been no growth for Veronica.
We're still dealing with Katie Keene, too. She wasn't in this episode, but Veronica was supposed to be staying with her.
No, don't worry. I'm going to stay with Katie. Does Katie just think that, like, Veronica died on her way to New York City? Did she ever let Katie know she wasn't coming? Poor Lucy Hale.
I'm surprised Jorge didn't come barging into the...
That could have only saved the episode, if I'm being honest. Or that storyline. Yeah. The episode was great.
So yeah, Archie and Kevin were stuck at the school on parent-teacher night. We'll get to that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, it was just the obligatory, like, Riverdale action scenes. It was weirdly a Teen Wolf episode halfway through.
Yeah,
it was one of the locked in the school episodes that they would do every season.
The fight and the choreography and like all of that felt very Teen Wolf. And then, but then it was like that was one of the moments where Archie showed the like growth or whatever, because he stood up to the general and was like, I'm not, well, first of all, he's a civilian now, so he's like, I don't have to listen to you, and he was like, this is what we're doing.
I don't know, the general put them right back in combat real quick.
He really did. But he was like, I don't have to listen to you, this is what we're doing to make sure all of the civilians get out of the situation alive, and it worked, and I'm just like, Archie. Weirdly, I'm gonna come out of this show somehow with Archie being my fucking favorite character.
But also true to, I felt like Joey the whole time with that fucking general.
Who the hell is this guy?
Because then at the end, Archie just lays like you said, he laid all of his cards on the table, and we were just like so close.
Yeah.
And yet.
Because he really, what the general was like, well, blah, 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 this. And he was like, well, I think you sent me on a dirty mission and I'm already talking to a reporter. And I just, Archie.
Oh, was she a reporter?
I think she was a reporter.
That makes more sense. I thought she was like with the like Marines or whatever.
No.
And I was
also,
like.
Archie's in the army.
Okay, fine.
He's not a Marine.
You know what I mean. I thought she was like within the government. I was like, that feels not.
No, I think she's a reporter.
Way more sense. Yeah. Okay. I'm better there.
Cheryl. Okay.
So, I mean, I suspected as much, but the Blossom women are straight witches now?
They're at least about to be. Yeah.
So Cheryl is deep in her courtship with Minerva at this point.
Well, not anymore, I don't think.
And they go to tap the maple trees, which is a thing.
Yeah.
There is a precedent for this for this plot.
They had a party for like the first tapping of the season one year.
Yeah. And it was dry. They tried one tree for 5 seconds and it was dry.
Yeah.
And so then Hiram is trying to buy the maple forest because there's palladium.
Yeah.
Palladium.
He's already just apparently ravaged the earth beneath the prison for all of the palladium ore
in Riverdale
that's down there, but he knows there's more palladium ore under the orchard, the maple orchard. So he sends Reggie
to go fuck Nana Rose.
I'm actually here to see you, Miss Blossom, about your lovely groves. May I come in?
To go bang the rights out of.
No, not know.
That's how that scene played out.
He brought chocolates and wine and roses. Yeah, he was there. And Nana Rose was reciprocating. Would you not, if Charles Melton showed up at
this point,
at your house with that face?
Like I say, spin a wheel, throw a dart.
Yeah.
I mean.
So he got her to sign the papers, and like Hiram was, maniacal laugh.
Maniacal.
But it turns out that Cheryl had Nana Rose declared mentally incompetent.
Checked completely.
Yeah.
I was like, that was your
No.
bad. We all should have just.
We all should have made
Yeah.
sure. So she still has the Groves, and then he made Reggie Reggie seemed more than willing to set fire to the Maple Groves.
But it was like because you were right. You were like, that is fake.
Yeah,
and as
so
we've
fake.
well established within our show, that I enjoy fake graphics. I think it's funny and charming. But Reggie was like standing within the fire.
Yeah,
he was like
it was like, here's the fire to Reggie, and then
it was like season 1, the end of Game of Thrones with Daenerys, just like full.
And then he was just like doing a Macbeth soliloquy at them, and I was just like, what is happening? Like, poor Charles Melton's eyebrows, if that fire was real.
I mean, those cheekbones are gonna melt at a certain point, certain heat point. So yeah, so then this will merge into our next plot, but then Penelope Blossom.
Yeah, round of applause, Natalie Bolt. Thank you.
Showed up. We fucking love Penelope Blossom.
So good.
So she comes running in because basically Hiram planned at the same time that Reggie was setting fire to the maple forest. Hiram planned a prison break to go rile up the school. They because they need to take the school down.
Destroying the school to take the school down. So, and then just like causing havoc across town. So like literally everybody that we know of that's ever been sent to prison escaped from prison, including Penelope and Uncle Frank.
Yeah.
And two more we'll get to in the next bit.
And so Penelope shows up and just like she hasn't in 7 years has not missed a beat.
Yeah.
She's Nightmare Child. What do you Well, and also because Cheryl and Minerva were like waltzing to like an old-timey record.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't even vinyl. It was like made out of wax.
No, it was like on a gramophone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they also, you can tell that because this episode was like balls to the wall, that they weren't given choreography. So Madeline and Adeline were just sort of like fingers interlocked dancing. It was very bizarre. Nana was just watching. I don't know what was happening.
Nana Rose is a real enigma this season.
But
I've been able to put my finger on her in seasons past, but this season it's real.
Reggie's the only one putting his finger on her.
Apparently.
So Penelope runs in and she was like, there's a flame coming. And
she said, quickly, to the window.
Yeah. And so then they go to sacrifice the interloper. What?
They were going to kill Minerva.
Why?
Because she's the interloper.
What does that mean?
She's a person who's there who's not supposed to be.
Why? Who decided that? It was weird. The Cheryl and Minerva went from love for the ages to like a Scooby-Doo cardboard cutout.
Not love for the ages in the first place.
That kiss from like 3 weeks ago went on for like 45 seconds.
It did. I think that might have been more of a Nana Rose thing, kill the interloper, but regardless, Minerva was like, absolutely not.
She did get the hell out. And so
Minerva said deuces and left.
And so the Blossom women prayed the storm away.
At like a dead animal sacrifice altar.
Oh yeah.
There were skulls and everything.
Well, because the implication was that it was already established. I don't think they threw it together.
I don't think they set that up quickly.
So I want to know whose altar it was.
Nana Rose.
Okay. I was like, it could have been all three.
Yeah, I mean.
Any of them. So, and then they did acknowledge the freak wind storm stopped or stuff. I have no idea.
So they lost a lot of the grove, but it didn't burn down Thornhill.
No.
Also, Hiram has a lot of nerve being like, now she'll be desperate to sell me her land. And I'm just like, I don't think she will be. Cheryl is like notoriously stingy with her land. I don't really know what you're thinking.
She's just going to paint like a picture of a maple grove and hang it out the window and use it to trick Hiram. And like
he would fall for it. He's such a fucking idiot.
So that brings us to Betty's plot.
Yeah.
On her own show. So they're still trying to figure out what happened to Polly on the Lonely Highway, which apparently runs
200 miles.
Over hill, over dale. Like, there's beaches, there's marshes. I have because they talked about it being in Derry in Maine. So we don't know the location, the geography of.
I'm coming to understand that Riverdale takes place.
It's by Springfield.
I think it takes place in the Stephen King universe.
Okay.
Because Derry, Maine. Is where all of his shit is set.
And they name dropped Stephen King.
They did.
And it wasn't like Bradley Singh or something.
Sure.
Like, they didn't try and give him it was weird. But so Betty's still trying to figure this out. Glenn is there. We do not know what has happened to her cat.
Her cat that she left at Quantico?
Glenn was taken care of.
That's right. It's just another marmalade or caramel or whatever that cat was called.
Yeah. I think it was caramel. So he was being. I love Grayson Holt, but he was being really weird.
He's a turd.
Yeah. So he's writing a paper.
His dissertation.
Okay. Yeah. So he's a student as well?
Yes.
So they're both students investigating these things. Okay.
I think he's slightly more senior than she is, but yeah.
So he's
also, she just seemingly fell right back into bed with him.
That happens.
Everybody was just falling into bed with people in this episode in a way that I was like, this is not realistic to your character development.
but so he's studying the Cooper family on the effects of nature versus nurture
on the serial
killer gene, which is M83 and N1H1. If we
both of those
we know a lot of we've heard a lot about that. This is a really bitty episode that we're doing. We're like, cha-cha-cha-cha. So, because both her and Charles have the genes.
But they were raised separately.
Yeah, and Hal didn't have the genes.
But he was still a killer.
Is a killer. Yeah. And now Juniper and Dagwood might be bad seeds because they pushed some kid down the stairs.
Yeah.
Although the kid Jerry was mocking them because their mother died. So I think Jerry had it coming.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Kids are fuckers.
Jerry might have deserved that a little bit. Mm-hmm. Although he did get a concussion and break his shoulder.
Stairs did that. Not Juniper and Dagwood. Talk shit, get hit. I don't know what to tell you.
Snitches get stitches. I get it. Fair enough. No, but that was.
I've come real pro Juniper and Dagwood out of nowhere.
Well, they're shitting. Polly's shittiness skipped a generation, maybe.
He can add that to his paper.
Yeah, I don't know. That was actually really interesting to me because I was like, well, was it like the good word of Alice Cooper that kept Betty from turning? Like, what?
Her head is so crammed full of Madonna and horror complex that there's not room for psychosis, I guess. She's too broken in a different way.
You guys just straight up killed me with that.
There's only so much space rattling around up there.
She's like, I don't know who I am, and so I can't be a serial killer.
Half of it is memories of Archie naked, so
that would be
you're gonna want to hold on to those.
That would be filling up at least half my brain if I had seen it.
So yeah, but then the best part of the episode happened, and it's Charles and Chick showed up.
Yep.
I have been waiting for this for 2 seasons at least, possibly 3.
I forgot they were lovers.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
Because there was a scene where they were like, Charles went to go see Chick and they like had their hands pressed to the glass.
That's right.
In whatever, it wasn't Shankshaw.
I think it was.
No, because they sent Charles to Shankshaw.
Oh, well, but then where did Chick escape from? He had to be at Shankshaw too. They escaped together.
I don't think Shankshaw was Hal's prison. It was the for-profit prison that Hal built.
Oh, okay. Hiram.
Yes, sorry, Hiram. So Charles and Chick were there. Hilarious. Yeah. I love both of them. So it's Hart Denton and Wyatt Nash.
Yeah. It's very good.
I don't know when I turned into such a Wyatt Nash stan, but I saw his name in the credits and I was like, yes. He is still alive, we think.
Yeah.
If this is the end of that story, I get it. I'm fine. I can't imagine anyone out there is watching this show
clamoring
for Charles and Chick.
No, but it was nice to kind of put a button on it, I guess.
Yeah. So, well, they're married Because
I don't think Alice finished.
She said, I
she did. Husband and husband. That's right.
So Alice has been fucking Alice. What did you say about her?
In this
Or
episode?
you said Metronamic is riding this train straight to hell.
She is gonna ride this show to the grave. Because I was like, well, she and Charles start fighting, and there's a gun, and it goes off when you can't see who it might have hit. And I was like, oh no. And then I was like, oh please. I was like, Metronamic is on this show until she dies. I was like, she's not letting go of this. In the best way.
No, yeah,
in the best way.
She's apparently been visiting both of them in church. Or in prison.
Jill, she only said Charles specifically.
Okay.
Because then I was like, what about Chick?
Well, he wasn't there.
He wasn't their actual relative. I get it.
So he felt left out of the research paper that Glenn was writing.
Oh, it was funny.
But Charles reassured him that he would be soon. He would be a Cooper.
You'll be in there.
He was like, "You'll be a Cooper," and you were just like, "Wow."
He kept on calling him Babe too, and I just was like, "This is so many things."
Juniper and Dagwood were so into it when they showed up.
Yeah.
They,
it was their birthday also.
Well, but then they also Charles tied up. So I think it might have been a slight residual of the pandemic. I almost said plague of the pandemic last year, where it's the thing we've been complaining about all season, where part of the season really felt kind of squished.
Sure.
So the whole reveal of it being Charles and Charles being the bad guy felt really, really, really rushed when we got that at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was like enough that obviously we followed it and everything like that. But I expected one or two more scenes if this had played out the way it was originally scripted. Sure. But because Charles is straight like the Stranger's crazy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because they tie up Glenn and he wants to play a game called Pincushion with Juniper and Dagwood.
The Pincushion man.
Yeah, where the youngest one gets to stick pins into the Pincushion man, and then he straight hands them like a butcher knife.
Yeah.
And it was wild.
Yeah.
The tonal, and it wasn't whiplash. It was a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It was a roller coaster, but...
Well, and then Betty was like, no, don't make them do it. And then he was
she cut into him like he was a cake.
And then Charles was like, okay, Betty, then you do it. And she was like, I know where to stab him, but she really did. She just was like, it'll be fine. Yoink.
There was no do it, Betty, do it.
Yeah,
she just was like, we got shit to do.
No. It was just 100%.
She's like, we haven't even checked back in on Jughead. We gotta get this train going.
Speaking of Jughead,
yeah, it was hilarious. I fucking love this. Is crazy Riverdale, but it was at least
it's so much
it was
and
fun.
So entertaining.
Jughead kissed Tabitha finally,
but then they didn't do it on one of the tables in Pops, which was a real waste
although the
of
place
time.
Was always open, but it would get business the second they went at it.
Sure.
And then he needed to do 5 pounds of shrooms.
That was the biggest bag of mushrooms I've ever seen. It was like a paper lunch bag, but it was full to the brim of mushrooms.
Of maple shrooms.
Ugh.
From New York maple shrooms.
I don't want to know what that tastes like. But Tabitha made it into a delicious sauce and put it on top of a burger for him.
It did look good.
It did look like a good burger.
It looked good. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. So he needed to do this because I guess this is what he did in New York, and he would black out and wake up with papers.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the rock solid plan he thinks it is.
No. Especially because he got fucking abducted or something.
Well, because she handcuffed him to the fucking desk, and I was like, Tabitha, I was like, God bless, we need somebody.
Well, he was also barely. He was being a dick, but he wasn't being that big of a dick, and he was just like, dance with me, and she was like, all right, I'm cuffing you.
Well, she cuffed him to the desk to make him work, but I was like, nothing will make me type faster and with more purpose than having one hand constrained. And so I was like, he's gonna gnaw his hand off. And
I don't think that's what happened, but there was blood everywhere.
Well, there was something. I don't think it was a Mothman or an alien. It looked like a bridge troll or like a gremlin. I don't know what.
Well, the Mothman has looked different every time we've seen it, so I think it might have stuck because the body part of the Mothman looked the same.
I mean, I'm sure it's whatever that was. Well, it was fake, but
yeah.
Because as much as the show loves us, it doesn't. Magical creatures love us.
No, same. Yeah.
I don't know. So she came back to check on him, and he was missing, and there was a blood trail.
Yeah.
But he did his work.
He did a lot of work.
He did the work.
Yeah.
He's real hung up on the Betty, the her cheating on him. I'm joking.
I don't even think it's the cheating.
No, because she was like, her like vision was apologizing to him.
Yeah, but he said we had a really bad breakup, and their breakup was more of just like a falling apart. They just like, she went to Yale early and he left for Ohio or whatever early. It was like, I don't know. He's still hung up on it on a way that like I don't think is relative to the actual situation that happened.
And then who was the other girl?
His New York girlfriend. She was in the
she
first
had blonde
episode.
hair.
No.
Okay.
No, there was a blonde girl who like
Squeaky.
No. There was a blonde girl in his apartment who like covered for him.
Yeah, that's who I thought it was.
That was not his girlfriend. His girlfriend was the one in this episode that brought the shrooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Veronica told Archie she wasn't coming back, and he actually seemed pretty done with her. We should be so lucky. Could you imagine?
Okay, I want to say one more thing. I know we're running long, but that's the thing I think that bothers me so much about them falling back together is that there's no character like growth or momentum or anything. There was no reason why they should have gotten back together. Neither of them were like in really a place for that. I don't know. There was just like no excuse for it at all. And so I'm actually fine with her staying in New York. I mean, she'll be back in the first episode in July, obviously, but I would be glad if he was just done with her for sure. It's not a compelling relationship to me at all. That was all.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Weird down note to end on.
Yeah, so that was it. To our understanding, we are on hiatus till July.
Yeah.
I think it was like July 7th or something like that. Who knows? This shit like that changes all the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that's the scoop we got right here and right now. So
yeah, we'll obviously be back for the next stuff, and we might be putting up something else.
We can pick up something in the meantime.
Yeah.
You can suggest things. I don't know that we'll do them, but we'll read the suggestion.
We sure will. We will take it on board and accept or reject.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you back when we come back.
Yeah, we're also covering The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Fridays, so check that out as well.
And Drag Race.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.
See you later soon, hopefully.
That's your first time.
Apparently. I'm like, really. You would think I was drunk, and I'm not. Oh.